Hello, my name is Stephen Brooks, and I want to talk to you about the application of Buddhist principles in hypnotherapy. This is a field that I've spent many years studying and developing. There are many principles in Buddhism that are therapeutic. So instead of kind of looking ahead and trying to develop something new, I thought we could look back 2,600 years further back to look at what principles Buddha created and demonstrated that could be actually therapeutic, especially if applied with hypnotherapy. So the principles I want to discuss are especially the principle of non-attachment, the principle of dependent origination, which is an important principle, the principle of compassion, and several others. So each of these videos will be dedicated to one or another of these principles to show you how I've been able to integrate these with hypnosis. Well, let's take non-attachment as a starter. You know, if you think of meditation, especially something like mindfulness, that's really based on detachment. That is, allowing thoughts to enter your head and then detaching from them so that they no longer affect you, just letting them go and then waiting for something else to happen and doing the same thing with the next thought or whatever. The problem with detaching is that you have to attach first in order to detach. With non-attachment, it's different. Non-attachment implies there's no attachment in the first place. So this is the first part of this principle I want to talk about, not attaching to our problems. Now, this may sound crazy, but if you think about it, if you have a pain, it grabs your attention and you pay attention to it. Now, I know that pain is there for a reason, but the more you think about it, the more it hurts. I'm sure you've been in situations where you've had a pain and you've become distracted by something that required your immediate attention. Whilst you were engrossed in that activity, whatever it was, you were totally unaware of your pain. So this is a good demonstration of how attaching to a problem or a symptom actually not only can make it appear worse, but it can actually effectively add fuel to that fire. You know, when the brain has a thought, it then produces a feeling. The feeling then produces a behavior or action. It's a very simple process. So if we have a thought that's negative, phobic, some trauma or other, and then we have a feeling about that thought, we tend to become a victim of the thought by experiencing the feeling, fear or whatever the emotion is. So what if we don't attach to the thought in the first place so it can't produce the feeling? This is very different from going back to the past and digging up all of the history and finding out who did what to who and who to blame and why we have our problem. This is more about how we maintain it. So this is an important progress, I think, in therapy, where we tend to then spend more time on looking at how we maintain our problems and preventing that from occurring and continuing than we do digging up and finding causes. Admittedly, a cause initiates the whole process, but the cause is very often many years ago. We just have a representation of it in our head, and that pattern plays itself over and over again. So this is my first introduction to the concept of utilizing Buddhism and Buddhist principles in hypnotherapy. I think when combined with Ericksonian hypnotherapy, which is very indirect, you have a very powerful therapeutic tool that can be very effective and produce results very quickly because you're not spending a long time digging up the past. Okay, well, watch some of my other videos on utilizing Buddhist principles in hypnotherapy. I actually have my own therapeutic approach, which I call non-attachment therapy, based on these principles. If you want any information about that, let me know and I can share some of that with you as well. Okay, so this is Stephen Brooks saying, see you again. Look forward to my next video next week where I talk about the other principles. Take care, look after yourself. Okay, bye-bye.